Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Miss D. Today I'm just going to talk to you guys about being single, my experience being single. You know what, they usually say enjoy your time being single, and in the past I've never really understood that. Like, I've never really felt like, oh my god, being single is so amazing, none of that. Now I can actually say I'm enjoying being single. Not that I'm enjoying being single, but I can't, right now where I'm at in life, I cannot sustain a relationship because I feel like a relationship requires your time and energy and effort, and I don't have time to give. I have been in a lot of situationships slash I've seen a lot of people. I haven't necessarily been a girlfriend, like actually get to that girlfriend stage in a minute, and some of them have actually lasted like 2 years. I think the longest situationship I've been in lasted about 2 years. So I mean, that's longer than some people's actual relationships. But anyways, obviously a situationship is not healthy. My last most recent dating experience was I would say it ended in November of 2017. Now I'm at a point where I actually am happy being single. I don't even mind being single at all because I just feel like there's so much I want to do, so much I want to accomplish. Being in a relationship, I don't think I would have been as driven as I am now. Do you understand? Yes, I'm just going to dive right in, to basically what I have learned being single, or what I'm enjoying right now that I'm currently single and stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot to say I am single. Being single, I would say, is the time to set your standards. It's the time for you to accept, to set what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. I don't mean standards in like a materialistic way, saying, oh, he must have money, he must be driving a Range, the latest white Range Rover. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying standards, he must be tall, dark and handsome. I mean, everybody has their physical preference and stuff, but sometimes your physical preference is not where you're going to end up with. That's a story for another day. But like, I'm saying standards in terms of yourself, in how you kind of value yourself and how you expect another human being to treat you. Those are the kind of standards I'm talking about. If you don't have standards, you will literally fall for anything. And fam, trust me, there's too much scum in the world for you to be able to just be sweet so easily. Number 2, being single is the time for you to discover yourself, discover who you are, discover what you stand for, discover your worth, discover what you bring to the table. Just discover you in general. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't take time out to know who they really are, like, what takes them off, what doesn't. I mean, on the surface you might know, but it's the time for you to discover your core, your being, what makes you you. If that makes sense. It's very important for you to know who you are and what you stand for before you go into a relationship, because a relationship is you and someone else aligning yourselves to become one. It's no longer you, it is you and the other person. So whatever you do, you have to consider the other person, and I feel like you cannot effectively consider another person or be there for another person if you don't know who you are. Being single is the time to focus on your dreams and your goals. I know this is a cliche line. I know like everybody making this kind of video will probably say this thing, but honestly it is the fact. So it's very important for you to have your goals and to have your own plan before you get with someone, before you commit yourself so much on such a deep level to somebody. Do you understand? Like, you need to know where you're going, you need to have your plan. And I mean, when the person comes into your life, you're like, this is my plan, he's like, this is my plan, and then you fuse your plan together to become one. If you don't have a plan, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have goals, then his goals might become your goals and you're not really living your life. Do you understand? So when he now leaves you, you feel completely lost because you did not have goals to begin with. Obviously, being single is the best time to realize those goals. Is the best time. Do you understand? Because you're only considering yourself. You're not taking into account anybody else. You're like, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to get there. You're not having to say, oh, what if I want to do this but he feels like this, maybe I should do it this way. Nah, it's only about you, yourself, and I. Do you understand? It's only about me, myself, and I when I'm single. Number 4, a point I feel like a lot of people miss out when they make this kind of video. Being single is the best time to discover your emotions, to discover what takes you off, what doesn't, and to discover how to deal with your emotions. I'm a very emotional person, okay? And I feel like my emotions almost rule me sometimes, which obviously is not a good thing. It's not until recently I learned, how to deal with my emotions, and how I learned that was that basically I would say, okay, Shorty D. Obviously, obviously I don't call myself Shorty D. Like I literally, sit down and I think about my emotions. I'm like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Are you sure this is why you're feeling like this? Are you sure this is not why you're feeling like this? Is there another reason you could be feeling like this? I sit down and I break it down to the barest minimum. Okay, you know how you have a fraction and you just keep dividing it or simplifying it in quotes until you can simplify it no more. That's how I deal with my emotions. That's what I now do with my emotions. In dealing with your emotions, you just have to learn to accept things the way they are, because you cannot change anybody's actions. You cannot force somebody to act a certain way. So you just have to accept it. And prior to being this mature, prior to growing to this level, I used to drink back in the day to deal with my emotions. I wasn't an alcoholic, like I wasn't just drinking all the time, but I used to do other things that would block out how I was feeling. Yeah, like it's just breaking down your emotions to the simplest level that you can do, and then saying, okay, this is what it is. How do I deal with this? How do I move on from this? That's it. Aside from relationships and guys or whatever, life is going to throw so much at you. You need to be able to deal with it. Yeah, the fifth thing I would say I have learned being single is that my time is so precious. You know when they tell you that time is money? I never really understood that until I decided to take this whole YouTube thing like super seriously. Oh my god, like I can't even emphasize how precious my time has become to me. I cannot waste my time on anybody that's not going to add value to my life. I cannot waste my time on anybody I'm not going to, have a future with. Like, it's just so pointless to me. Like I have so much to do than to sit down and be talking on the phone all day, every day to somebody I don't see a future with. Like, I can't do it. And it's not that, as soon as I see a guy, I'm like, I must marry him. No, that's not what I mean. It's that after, obviously, we talk and I analyze the kind of things you say, I'm just like, this one is a time waster. Nah, move to the side. Your time should be precious to you too. Another thing I have realized being single is that I'm not even in a rush for marriage, because I just feel like there's so much I want to accomplish in myself. There's so much I want to accomplish for myself. Like, marriage is not the top of my priority at all. Like, if you're on my Snapchat or whatever, you see me lamenting about marriage this, marriage that. Like, obviously I do want to get married and stuff like that, but I'm not out there actively saying, oh, as soon as I meet this guy, I'm thinking about marriage. Now, I'm not settling for anybody because I want to get married or I'm in a rush to get married. Nah, like, I'm not even in a rush to get in a relationship. If it's meant to be, it will be. So those are some of the things I have learned, or my mindset right now about being single. Anyways, the reason I feel I'm not as focused on getting into a relationship is because I'm so occupied with what I want for my life and my dreams and my goals. And obviously I'm also trying to build a better relationship with God. Obviously, if a good guy comes around, fine. If we start talking and I'm like, damn, this guy actually makes me want to be better than I already want to be, do you understand? Then that's cool. Like, I'm not opposed to being in a relationship. I just cannot waste my time anymore. And now, moving on to the second segment of today, I just want to talk to you guys about a book that I have read. The book is called Waiting and Dating. I will put the name of the book and the author in the description box. But yeah, this book has actually helped me in obviously building the mindset I currently have. I wouldn't say it has like changed me dramatically. Like, I feel like all this were already in me. It just took maybe some reading of something else or acknowledgement of something else to realize that, like, this is actually me and stuff. It's actually a really good book. It's a Christian book. So, and it's called A Sensible Guide to Fulfilling a Loving Relationship. And I feel like some of the points in this book really resonated with me. I would definitely advise you to read it if you're single. Even if you're in a relationship currently, it might just give some insight into how to make your relationship better. It's definitely a really good book to read. However, some of the things in the book I felt like were a bit extreme. I can't remember off the top of my head some of the things that I thought were a bit extreme, but maybe when I'm editing this video I might just put them on the screen or something. But like, some of the things, not that they were untrue, I just found like he just kept saying, if you don't do this, you won't get this. Do you understand? And I just feel like everyone's life is different, so you can't really say that. But ultimately, it's a really good book. I would give it 8.5/10. So if you're really looking to build a fulfilling, loving, serious relationship heading towards marriage, I would definitely suggest you read this book. One thing I learned from this book is that it's easier to avoid mistakes at the start of the relationship than to correct them halfway. So whatever you start to accept at the start of your relationship, do not expect that halfway you can now go and tell the man, oh, you do this, you do that, I don't appreciate that, I want this to change, and expect him to change. It's easier to correct it at the beginning, at the foundation, lay a proper solid foundation for your relationship. And another thing is that, commitment is a choice. Like, you choose to be committed to someone. Obviously, when you first meet someone, you're attracted to them, you're infatuated with them, you want to know more about them. And after a while, you get past that point. So love, in essence, is kind of like a choice. You choose to love someone, you choose to constantly keep remaining in that love. Because obviously, once the whole fairy tale, you getting excited about the person fades away, you now deal with the real shit. Marriage to me is something that should be forever. I'm not trying to get married and get divorced. So love is a choice, and there's also more than one person for you. There's no the one. Do you understand? There are multiples of ones, and you choose in essence who you're going to love. And another thing that stood out for me in this book is that God doesn't choose who you get married to or who you love. You do that, but in doing that, you should seek God's guidance. Do you understand? Because obviously God has given us free will. He's not going to say, oh Shaitan, I choose you to marry John. He's not going to say that, because obviously that's not free will, because that's not you choosing that. That's him choosing that for you. In relationships, especially in this generation, we tend to ignore the spiritual level of the relationship, which is the most important part of any relationship. Do you understand? I guess I have never been in anything too serious to start discussing the spiritual level. But from this book, it said that the spiritual level is what you should even start discussing at the start. So I guess that's something new that I've learned. That you want a God-fearing man, blah, 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 blah. He goes to church once a week, that's enough for you. You guys don't sit down, you guys don't pray together, you guys don't discuss the word of God together, but yeah, you want a God-fearing man. That's not how it works, sis. I guess we need to do better in discussing the spiritual level first before we take it to any other level. Okay, so in the book, they listed a couple of questions you should ask, you should ask before getting into a relationship with someone. Like, oh, is he a Christian? Is he financially stable? Or what's his finances like? What's his home training like? And stuff like that. And something that stood out to me was the home training part, like, or his relationship with his family. Like, obviously, we already know as Africans that as you marry someone, you're not just marrying them, you're marrying their entire family. I probably haven't gotten to that level with anybody yet that, I'm like, oh, what's your relationship with your family? Or like in-depth understanding of their relationship with their family. I don't think I've really gotten to know anyone on that level. So that's something we need to question before getting into a relationship with someone. Like, oh, how's your relationship with your mom? How's your relationship with your dad? Obviously, if there are any strains, you find out why. And then if you find out that he's the troublesome person in the family, fine, you should run far away. Something I've always known, and that was also mentioned in this book, is, your financial capabilities individually. I would obviously tell him my financial position as well, because you need to plan. You need to remember that when you get into a relationship / a marriage, it's not just you anymore, it's you and the other person. So you need to be able to plan. It's not when you get into the relationship you now start to plan, oh, this is what I earn, this is what you earn, how we're going to make this work. Nah, you need to plan prior to getting married. So in that regard, I feel like knowing the financial capabilities of your partner is very important, and that's something this book highlighted as well. You just need to remember that you being in a relationship with someone is you aligning your life to that person's life. If you guys are not heading in the same direction, if you guys do not have the same life goals, then there's no point dating that person. If you're single, make the most of being single. Obviously, it's Valentine's Day. I'm sure everyone wants to, be coupled up or go on that Valentine's date or whatever, but if you're single, just enjoy it. Go out with your friends, do whatever. Valentine's Day is a Wednesday. Fine, I might have work the next day, tomorrow. But I don't really think, I'm going to do much on Valentine's Day, except God just put someone in my way. But yeah. Anyways, happy Valentine's Day, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button below. If you're new to this channel, welcome. We're glad to have you, and I hope you stick with us for the journey ahead. Yes guys, it's your girl Miss D. I love y'all, but I'm gonna have to leave y'all until my next video.